what I like to do is start with maybe asking our other panel members if they would like to add something, what John has just actually briefly described us about the future of manufacturing. If you would like to add something more or comment on it and so forth, I think that would be a terrific way for us to start. Maybe could I ask Carrie for you to start us off?
Certainly. At Dow, it was interesting to hear the discussion from BP talking about the future. The thing that I and my team and many folks at Dow are focused on right now is relaying the groundwork so we can spring to the future. We, on our enterprise systems, have been operating on SAP R2 for about the last 25 years, and we may be the last people alive on R2. And we are making the very large leap to ECC and doing it in a very rapid manner globally. We had implemented SAP R2 globally with a global coding system, which really allows us to roll up and roll down across the company. And after our acquisition of Roman Haas a few years ago, started over again with replatforming onto ECC. We're doing it very, very rapidly. And in fact, in this next year, we'll complete Asia Pacific, and then in next year, all of North America and Europe together. What's exciting as you look at it from a manufacturing perspective is we're not just replacing the pieces we had before, but where we had legacy maintenance systems across the globe, we are putting in plant maintenance, the PM module of SAP, with very tight ties to Meridium for reliability and Primavera for scheduling. So we've got that and other components as well. And again, moving very fast so that we can get to those next value-adding pieces we can do for the future.
Good. Dean, in your industry, you guys are always, ahead and thinking of the future. What sort of things are you envisioning?
Well, General Dynamics, as most of you know, is a pretty large, diversified company, and I work at just one of the 13 General Dynamics companies. We make tank ammunition, artillery ammunition, bombs, mortars, ordnance for all of our armed services. And we have some pretty heavy metal manufacturing plants in our company located throughout the United States, where we do a lot of forging, heat treating, and CNC machining. And the thing that we're looking at closely is this thing called MT Connect. I'm just curious if I could see by a show of hands in the audience how many people have heard of MT Connect? Not very many. So if you have any plants that have a lot of CNC machines, you might want to Google MT Connect and read up on it. It's a new industry standard that's been rolled out by AMT. It's going to allow every machine tool to talk in basically one common language. So the idea will be once you have these MT Connect enabled machine tools, and by the way, you can retrofit your current machine tools to use MT Connect. You'll be able to have a lot of data streaming off all of your machine tools the idea, of course, is streaming up to some cloud enterprise location where smaller companies can start to analyze and trend that data and begin to look for patterns and be able to make recommendations to you on how you can improve OEE, how you can improve downtime, how you can process faster, et cetera. So that's sort of the cutting edge thing, Andy, that we're currently looking at. We're doing some pilot studies in our plant. Very, very interesting new standard that I think is going to be adopted.
Good. Norbert, Bayer, what sort of vision do you have at Bayer for the future? And especially, by the way, Norbert comes to us from Europe, so maybe in Europe, how are you thinking? What sort of vision do you have?
Well, it's not only Bayer, it's also the chemical pharmaceutical industry in Europe. We represent from Sanamur. We think we are in front of a very interesting time, a very interesting decade, where we have real big paradigm shifts in production. Let me make two examples which we think is very important. One, we are just in the middle. It's a shift from chemical synthesis to biological processes. We are already in the middle. It's driven from pharmaceutical. But still, automation is running behind because most of the processes we have to run blindly because we have no models, we have not enough sensors for it. This is a small change coming up to us still. One of the biggest, we think, in Europe is the trend to microreactor technology, which will be a real paradigm shift in production. What John already said, we need to be much faster to market. We need to be much more flexible. There will be much more different materials. And if in chemical business we start up a new world-scale plant, suddenly our marketing has to sell 30% more of the product from one day to the other. Normally the answer is, oops, how shall we do it? In the future, we can really design the plants to small amount, very, very cheap, because in the microreactor technology, we have a much better yield, and from the volume time by a factor of 50, they're much, much cheaper. And the first plants already running in Europe. But we have no automation for that, nothing. We don't need a 14-inch container for production plants in the same size for DCS system next to it, another the same size for online analytics, and another one for explosion protection. So all this miniaturization must also happen in automation. And this, I think, will be a real, very, very big paradigm shift in production facility and production processes we will experience in the next decade. Another thing, what we call in Germany and Europe now the fourth industrial revolution, Industry 4.0, maybe here also, this is how IT technology will penetrate automation and production. And there we are, at least in Europe, at the very, very beginning. We still cannot imagine what will happen. It's a long discussion if it will be production without people or with people. How much, you call it also Internet of the Things, how much the equipment is intelligent enough and by pre-designed procedures will optimize themselves, will call for repairments themselves, and so many things. We are just discussing what we want to have in about 10 years. Technology is mostly there. Maybe the biggest gap is still what you discussed on Monday, IT security. Because we don't want that somebody other is influencing our production facilities. So there are, from the production processes, we are really at the beginning of huge paradigm shift. If you put all together, biotechnology, microreactor technology, IT technology, I think nobody here can imagine how a manufacturing plant will look like in 10 years, but we all know we have to work hard to make it possible, because if we don't do it, others will do it, and our companies will have a big competitive disadvantage if they don't do it.
Good. Thank you. Jim, Owens Corning is a leader in your industry. How do you see your industry transforming or changing over the next few years?
Yeah, thanks, Andy. I think sitting here thinking, I don't know if it's comforting that we're all facing the same problems or scary. It's probably a great opportunity for collaboration in this space. But when I think about what Owens Corning's focused on, we have a number of things. I'm sure we'll cover a bunch of them here over the next few minutes. But one is customer intimacy. Two is efficiency and flexibility. And then third is sustainability. I think we're in the similar boat, although it's comforting to know we're not as bad as Dow. We're on R3 of SAP in the Americas, so we're working on a similar project. We've already finished Asia and Europe, so we're well on our way on that. But that's really driven by us wanting to be more connected, more intimate with our customers, and be able to provide them real-time information on their orders, on the things that they're interested in gaining from us as a company. On the flexibility and efficiency side, I think, as Norbert said, my interest lies mainly in the intersection of IT and engineering. I think that we're at an inflection point, a disruption, if you will, between what has traditionally been the shop floor technology and consumerization of IT and information technology. And those two bulls, if you will, are going to ram heads very hard here in the very near future. And I think that unlocks huge opportunity for us, whether it's through data analytics, reporting, modeling, advanced process control, and more mobility solutions for our manufacturing plants. We're interested in all those things. On the sustainability side, we're very proud of our products because we think, I was listening to the president last night as well, and one of his things was about efficiency of our existing buildings and everything, and we play directly in that space with our insulation products, and we're designed to try to fit that. But at the same time, on our side, what we're trying to do is create, as John said, zero discharge plants, zero waste plants, and improve our energy profile in terms of making our products. So that's a big focus for us as well. And we have several plants around the world that are already at zero discharge, zero waste, and we're trying to figure out how we get across the globe with our 90 or so manufacturing facilities to get to that same place.
Great.